This video shows a concerned sister checking in on her sleeping sibling. I'm not sure why she would be holding a camera to do so, but I guess she wanted to record the moment. A girl she has never seen before is hovering over her sister's bed without saying a word, and when she turns to leave to get help, the ghostly child teleports in the doorway to block her.
Lee, you alright? Oh my god!
The girl standing in the door does look like the same girl who is just standing by the bed. They are wearing the same outfit and have the exact same hair length and color, so I guess it's possible that this was a spirit. Then again, if this was staged, then maybe there was a second girl who was standing in the doorway the whole time to make it look like they teleported. A garbage man in New York City leaked this video online to show us a scary side of the industry that we were never meant to see. He needs to pull this dumpster down an alley to the garbage truck. Most of us would walk right up and grab the handle, but the veteran worker does something important first. He kicks the dumpster and waits. That's because out here you can get surrounded by a mob of rats if you walk up to their territory without giving them a heads up. Kicking makes them scatter away.
Come on, bro. Come on. Get your stuff together and get out of here. Get all your boys. Tell all your boys, let's go. Yeah.
This dumpster must not have much food in it because only a few run away, instead of dozens like normal. Now comes the hard part.
Now we're going to attempt to move the can.
He gives a sharp tug and lets go. When nothing confronts him, he proceeds. He gets halfway down the alley when something creepy decides to make his day twice as difficult.
Still. Come on, bro. You gotta go. Can't go back in there.
This one is smaller than the rest, but it's stuck around longer than the others and seems twice as territorial. It starts to run away and then it gets another idea. I'm not sure if he fell over or dropped the camera, but the rat, scared and caught up in the moment, jumped straight at him. It looks like an aggressive move rather than just trying to get away. That rat did not want to give up its dumpster. This is why garbage men are paid more than teachers. Jokes the top comment of this video. I'm not sure if this statement is true, but after seeing this video, do you agree with it or not? And if this is how crazy just one rat acts, imagine how scary it would be to get chased down an alleyway by a whole swarm of them. Talk about a tough and thankless job. Beware of the shadows. When at Donovan Mill, the historic mining site in Silver City, Nevada, has a reputation, and it's not a good one. At least one documented incident of someone taking their own life has been recorded there. Perhaps it's the spirit from this unfortunate history that lingers in the mill. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Facts by James TV writes, at 24 minutes 30 seconds you could see a shadow-like figure down the hallway at the very same space it is known to be haunted by a spirit named John that is very protective about that area. At the timestamp in question, you can see what James is talking about. He said he felt a presence, so they stopped and shined the flashlight down at the end of the hall. A small shadow figure appears there. Casting light down that way doesn't make it disappear. What do you think about this creepy catch? Would you have the guts to venture down the hall to investigate? The story of Sally in the Wood goes something like this. Located outside Bath in Somerset, there's a road that passes into the woodland of Brown's Folly, which locals refuse to drive down after dark due to the terrifying legend surrounding it, known by locals as Sally in the Wood. It is said that no birds can be heard chirping through this stretch of the forest, as a girl has her life taken there and now haunts the place. Some say they've heard a screaming child in the dark forest, and some have seen a full-bodied apparition of a girl racing into the road at night. The legends are all over the place about Sally in the woods. According to some, Sally was an 18th century gypsy girl who was held captive in a tower, where she perished. The website Wiltshire Paranormal claims that this story is entirely fictional and that the name Sally in the Woods more likely came from a battle that occurred at Brown's Folly in 1643. As Sally is slang for skirmish, this could very well be true. However, the Bathford Society claims that Sally was an actual person, but not the only one who passed away in a tower. This legend claims that Sally was a witch living in a hut in the woods. Local records put Sally's passing at the age of 100, although that wouldn't really explain her appearance as a young girl ghost, unless Sally the witch had the ability to appear youthful. Regardless of what you choose to believe, the generational legend of Sally in the Woods lives on, and the resulting fear can be felt throughout this video, published to YouTube by the Abandoned Prepper in March of 2020. Examining various parts of the house up close, the Abandoned Prepper wanders through this haunted place solo. Some parts of the house appear deeply aged, while others recall the more recent past. There's an old piano, a strange lock on the door, and an old photo box in the basement that appears as though they're from another century, but other parts of the home look as though they're from the 60s or 70s. Prepper says that he can hear water running and regularly hears strange noises. Shortly after entering, there is a definite sound of glasses clinking about upstairs while he is downstairs.
This is massive. I'm getting a bit scared now. Hello?
Prepper calls out to alert anyone else exploring the house to his presence. He also said the house has recently become a hotspot for urban explorers. He returns to the first floor and then upstairs to the second. He keeps hearing strange noises throughout. Birds are chirping and the sound of running water.
What? Someone's flooding the basement.
He compares the house to Amityville and says it definitely gives him bad vibes. While he explores the adjacent house, at one point he enters a room. Notice there's no blue ball here. He heads upstairs and there's a loud sound of something wooden slamming or falling down. When he returns to that same room later, there's a blue ball in the middle of it. The call is coming from inside the house. He also finally discovers where the sound of running water was coming from. The basement of the house is being flooded. There's a hose passing down there, so it looks like it was done intentionally. As he's getting ready to head out of the home, he turns the corner to descend the stairs. That's when you hear the strike of a piano key.
Off. Hello?
While at the same time the hallway light bulb is swinging back and forth, he races down to catch whoever struck the cord, but there's no one. Finally outside, he turns back to look at the dark shell of a house. You can literally feel the creepiness shed away from you. According to YouTuber Gankwapi, this abandoned house has a horrific history. It's near the end of their investigation that they encounter this spirit. If you look a little closer, you can see a figure lurking in the darkness. Look to the right. Is that the old man's spirit, stranded to haunt this evil house for eternity? I suspect it just might be, although I could also see it being the Life-Taker's demon, jailed forever in this purgatory on Earth. What would you do if the ghost that's haunting your house doesn't want to share it with you? posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. This Redditor writes, "Threw this edit together of me being haunted and I'm terrified." In the beginning of the clip, Mossy asks the spirit if he can please enter his room, and the door swings closed. We'll take that as a no. He hurries to open it and reveals that there's no one behind it or inside, as he mentions that his fan is turned off on its own. The fan flings itself from the table beside his bed. Lastly, he turns on his piano keyboard and asks the spirit to play a song. The spirit obliges, pressing a few random keys. Is this a harmless haunting, or is something more evil at play? Redditor Bestia Hermosa advises that the Redditor sweep everything out of this house. She writes, "When you come back into your home, close the door behind you without looking back, outside your door in order to have any bad juju stay out, and no unwelcoming entities in your home." We hope Bestia's advice works. This spirit doesn't seem like he's interested in welcoming the living. Have you ever felt like someone was watching you while you slept? The truth is, they might be. A couple in Bucktown, Chicago, discovered an intruder had crept into their home to take their valuables and to watch them creepily as they snoozed on the sofa. He was captured on a security camera gazing at the couple, Jordan and Jack, from the upstairs balcony while they slept below on their couch during a Netflix binge. It was only when Jack said to his girlfriend, "Why are you at the top of the stairs wearing a white hoodie before we went to bed?" And she answered, "I wasn't at the top of the stairs," that the pair started to freak out. The intruder stood over them, watching for nearly 5 minutes the first go around. Then he went back to snooping through the couple's things, only to return and gaze at them for another 5 minutes. The intruder is believed to have burglarized other neighborhood homes. He managed to get into the house through their bedroom balcony door, which they left open. In fact, he was so light on his feet that the couple's dogs didn't even budge. They slept the whole while at their owner's feet. What valuables did he take? As it turns out, only Jordan's purse. In fact, this was the reason the couple watched the surveillance video in the first place. They'd gotten into an argument about where Jordan had left the purse. Jack suggested she'd forgotten it at the restaurant they'd gone to the previous night. Jordan insisted she'd brought it home. Moral of the story, binge watching Netflix is more unsafe than you'd think. In a circle near a haunted hut, Om Vlogs sets out to complete the 12-hour challenge. This is what happened.
वो सब झोपड़ी है, वो हॉन्टेड वाली। नहीं 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 देख तेरा ये क्या आई डोंट नो इतना कुछ आवाज है कैसी बताऊं आवाज।
Something is right outside their tent. When they exit, they hear it in the trees.
मेरे को झोपड़ी पे है ना हल्का सा भी मूवमेंट से दिखाई दी थी झोपड़ी पे। हाँ।
And then they see it in the hut.
रुक जब कुछ बेकाबू है ओए प्रियंक इस तरफ से आ रही है मेरे उस तरफ कोई कुछ कर रहा है।
Back inside their tent, they hear this, so they turn out the light.
लाइट बंद कर नीचे वो बड़ी लाइट बंद कर बड़ी लाइट बंद कर।
But that only seems to disturb it more.
लाइट बंद कर लाइट बंद कर भाई भाई कोई तो है
And just when they think the beast is gone,
लाइट खोल लाइट दिखा लाइट मार गया बस आई भगाए।
back outside, it looks as though something disturbing has happened in the hut.
देख देख देख, यहीं से ओए ये देख, ये यहाँ हमने रखा था। हाँ देख, पहले उसने कोई जानवर था या कुछ था, उसने यहाँ पे ये सब करा है, फिर उसके बाद वो कुछ खाने की चीज़ समझ के।
Well, I'm not sure what beast is haunting them. I am sure of one thing. I will not be completing this 12-hour challenge. A YouTuber called Bangladesh Ghost Hunter, together with his trusty dog Thomas, go exploring abandoned houses and other fabled haunted places deep in the woods. One of their freakier finds takes place at night deep in the woods, where scary things are caught on camera, beginning with a scream.
এবং আপনারা ওয়েট এই জন্য কিন্তু থমাস কোথায় দেখো তো।
As they strain into the darkness, a large number of weird things are caught on camera that deserve further analysis.
ওখানে কিছু আছে, ঠিক আছে, এই জন্য কিন্তু থমাস কোথায় দেখো তো ছিল, মানে হা করে সেই ধোঁয়াগুলো খাচ্ছিল। Thomas?
Watch this part beginning at 5 minutes and 39 seconds and see how much paranormal activity you can see in 15 seconds.
যখন আলাদা করতে চেয়েছিল, তো তখন কিন্তু আমি কাছে ছিলাম, তখন আর কি পরিস্থিতি হয়েছিল সেটা যদি একটু বল।
Okay, at 5 minutes and 40 seconds, a strange yellow orb glances across the camera and goes away. 2 seconds later, he turns his head as this pink aura is caught on camera that may or may not be the cameraman's finger, but in that moment, a strange wispy mist rains down on him that he can't see. 20 minutes and 40 seconds is when they finally see it. A form between two trees in the shape of a person. The flashlight chances upon it for but a brief moment and then it's gone. But it's still there watching them, of that I am sure. If you're thinking of messing with Bloody Mary, think again. The Shadowhunters team learned this lesson the hard way. In this video, they investigate. After one of their devices is triggered in this haunted place, they mess with the spirits here. They find the word Mary written on a mirror.
Tentar filmar certinho aqui. Olha isso aqui, mano.
Then they do what you're told never to do.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
And she appears.
What is this? Ela.
And they face the consequences.
Nossa senhora! Nossa, mano! Tira ele daqui! Tira! Tira ele daqui! Vem, Heitor! Vem!
With his friend injured, one of the crew appears to go seek revenge against the demon.
Ô, Lucas, não vai não, velho! Não vai não, mano!
But as he tries to, this happens. Do you believe in Bloody Mary? The Shadowhunters certainly do now. For most ghost investigators, their only tool is their camera. These men, however, had other plans. Published to YouTube by Luan Mendez in December of 2019, this footage claims to capture the ghost of the girl in white. In the video, two men enter an abandoned house at night, calling out for the girl in white to reveal herself. The home and its surroundings seem empty at first, but as they wander around the house in search of the phantom, of course they find exactly what they were looking for. The first sighting of the girl in white is caught outside the home. They turn towards the doorway and, out in the field, the dark-haired figure dressed in a white t-shirt is standing at a distance. They scream in fear and rush towards the other side of the house. Lon manages to scrape his leg in the process. They return to the doorway where they saw the girl in white, but she's disappeared. Exploring the space more, they decide to enter a space under the home where the floorboards are missing. When one of the crew is down there, he captures the girl in white yet again, standing in the corner of the room above.
Meu Deus do céu!
The other guy, who's on the top floor, hears his friend's cries and captures the door to the room closing at the same time. They both race outside to see if the girl in white exits the building, but she is nowhere to be found. However, when they return to investigate the room, the door starts to slam repeatedly.
A porta aí, ó. Ai! Ah! Meu Deus!
This is the last straw for the investigators as they race outside and across the field, far away from the haunted place. Who can blame them? A YouTube channel called Exploring with Angelina is with some friends, and they are exploring an abandoned house that was apparently the scene of some very horrible events. The house is certainly creepy, and as they explore, the video has a feeling of unease, almost like something could pop out at any second. But it's at the 9-minute and 32-second mark when Angelina's friend looks into a dark room that things get beyond strange. She sees something so creepy, it sends her leaving with a high-pitched scream.
Oh my god.
Inside the room is basically a spider fortress, with webs covering almost every inch of the room. I feel bad for any future urban explorer who accidentally walks into that room, especially if you have a fear of spiders. This would be enough to scare you for life. The next time you're getting inked up, you'd best beware the angry poltergeists that may haunt the place. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Little Bo, the uploader explains that the ghost in their studio is becoming increasingly aggressive, particularly targeting men. The video shows the ghost in action as the artist is preparing to give a customer some ink. Several things literally launch from the nearby shelf, falling down on the artist, who covers his head. In the comments, the OP says the items that were thrown were a bottle and a Bluetooth speaker. It seems this is not a unique thing for studios. A Redditor mentions their 100-year-old studio's poltergeist is quite active as well. He writes, if you're in the basement, you can hear people walking above you, even if there's no one there, and just a general sense of dread. Once I was there alone after hours drawing, and the phone rang 3 times, and then read line in use as if someone picked up the phone. I refuse to be there alone. The OP responds that the doorbell of their studio also goes off a lot without anyone entering, as they call such events their phantom no-show clients. Is this angry ghost one of their phantom no-shows? We can only guess. Spirits seem to love to announce their presence by turning the lights on and off. Before we had flashlights, it was oil lanterns and candles. The scary phenomenon continues in a haunted house in South Wales when a spirit is told to show a sign. Startled, they investigate the incident by asking the ghost to communicate through this light. It's hard to tell from this creepy video if the flickering is a faulty wire or paranormal activity. A strange grin across his face at 1 minute and 47 seconds is a difficult response to read. A scared and nervous reaction is probably it. He's really being brave. Only a true ghost hunter can smile through their fear. This leaked video is over 10 years old and comes from Tacoma County in Washington. A couple are hiking together on Valentine's Day when they hear something in the sky and look up.
Oh
That is on fire.
Yeah, it is. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Some kind of meteorite falls towards Earth, and they rush down the path to investigate. They quickly find the rock sticking out of the ground and make a quick video to document their find.
Get me and it.
Yes, it is. Go talk,
This
please.
thing has come out of the sky.
Their reactions seem pretty real, but I'm not sure if I believe that a meteorite could land that closely without causing some kind of damage to them. Let me know if you think this video is legitimate. I'm especially interested in learning exactly what happens to people who are close to a meteorite, because from what I understand, I thought they usually go deaf from the impact. A YouTuber named C. Codain is with a group of friends who are ready to explore an old creepy tunnel. They keep running out because they think they see something inside, but nothing shows up on camera until their fourth and final attempt. First, they hear it before they see it. It sounds a lot like the other rake videos in my opinion, but let me know what you hear. They remain at the mouth of the tunnel while the creature slowly walks towards them, making those sounds all the while. They clearly get the creature on video once and for all, but not without risking their lives first. The shrieking monster is all gray and stands upright like a human. It's hard to say whether this was their friend or an actual sewer mutant. Their reactions of excitement and disbelief sound real, at least compared to most other videos, so I'm inclined to believe this was an actual creature they spotted at random. Ghost Adventures of Cornwall is the name of a paranormal investigation channel in the UK, who says that out of all of the haunted places they've ever explored, this abandoned house is one of the scariest and most active of all. Mark and Haley see a lot of creepy paranormal stuff, and it's all caught on live stream. At 2 minutes and 34 seconds, they see something strange that they think is a ghost. A soft light passes across another room that Mark says was not his. The light looks like it could have been from his flashlight at first, until you zoom in and see that the ghost light actually originates on its own and does not match his camera movements at all. It's not Haley's light either, because as far as I can tell, she doesn't have one. Mark says that the ghost orb returns at 6 minutes and 48 seconds, and this time you can clearly see his camera is pointed straight at the window when this ghost light goes up the wall and disappears.
Look at these curtains, man. Oh, something keeps touching me, Haley.
I think that something was touching him, because his camera malfunctions at the same time he feels a ghost nearby. Then later a small blue ghost orb is in the window, and it stays in the same spot even when he turns away. And when they set up a spirit box in this area to let the ghost communicate with radio airwaves, a female voice says hello. Tell me if you hear a ghost EVP say hello, because I do. A sense of desperation lends a sharpness to her voice that makes me jump. A disembodied ghost voice sounds like she does not want to be condemned to haunting this abandoned house. The paranormal investigation must go on though, and so he is brave and keeps talking to the ghost, wanting to know more. It's a big mistake.
Are you alone? Can you knock? Whoa! Time to play. Be careful, son.
Time to play. That's weird.
What?
It said time to play and then that one.
Who just said time to play?
Whoa.
You're playing games with me.
At this point, the paranormal investigation has definitely gone wrong, and judging from what the spirit box had to say, a supernatural presence has probably attached itself to them, either a demonic possession or a curse. An evil spirit can make themselves sound lost and confused to gain the trust of paranormal explorers, so maybe that's what happened here. This video is simply called Path of the Banshee. A man is walking all by himself down a bleak path with rows of trees reaching out for him from both sides. He spots something in the distance and freezes. Some people claim that the scream is fake and edited in. Even so, plenty of people say that they can see a figure in white robes in the distance. Do you see anything like that when he zooms in? Also, if you can identify if that scream is from a video game or a movie or something, then please let me know. Maybe together we can prove if this video is fake or real once and for all. This one's a little difficult to see, but when you do, the payoff is worth it. A YouTuber named Past is exploring an abandoned property in Nottingham. Pay attention to the very last window during this clip. Even then, I doubt you'll see it. Now here it is again, with the paranormal sighting highlighted. Something very large appears to move quickly in the very last window. However, this window leads outside and is 2 floors from the ground. With this in mind, what could this moving object be? A YouTuber named KShizzle27 is playing with his dogs when he decides it's time for them to go outside. Watch what happens in the doorway when he turns around.
Got it. You guys wanna go pee-pee? Okay, let's go pee-pee. Come on, guys. Let's go.
White glowing eyes peer out from a dark room. I was wondering why the dogs didn't sense anything, because canines are usually very sensitive to the paranormal, but upon closer inspection I think they actually do react to whatever is in the dark room. At 27 seconds, one of the dogs does seem to briefly look up at the eyes, but doesn't think much of it. The second dog freezes under its gaze and shakes itself off in front of the darkened doorway. Perhaps it felt a passing chill just like we humans do, but that's not all. One of the dogs is barking at something, like it sees an intruder in the home, and a shadow figure briefly steps out of the room, then quickly goes back inside. This could be special effects, but since both dogs have a reaction that's difficult if not impossible to fake, I think this ghost sighting is real, and that room is most definitely haunted. There's nothing more disturbing than the sound of an unexpected and unknown siren. What could possibly be impending? A tornado tearing through the town? What are we being warned about? Posted by Epic Memer Boy 0123 to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the uploader writes that he started to hear sirens randomly midday. In the clip, the sirens sound quite high-pitched, almost like a car horn beeping long and restlessly. Several in the comments suggest it's a test siren of some kind, either for tornado warnings or other emergencies. The Redditor clarifies that it lasted for around 10 to 15 minutes. Superman Connor writes, that definitely sounds too long to be a tornado siren then. When the Redditor mentions that a friend said it was an air raid siren, Superman responds those only last about 30 seconds. It seems the Redditor isn't the only one suffering from unknown siren syndrome. The Wastelander 96 writes, something similar happened near here a couple nights ago when the sirens just went off for like 10 to 15 minutes and then just stopped. Perhaps it is an emergency siren that they are testing, but for a different kind of emergency. Wonder what that could be. This one's picked up some heat in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. Posted by Breakman in August of 2020. The creature captured in this video isn't like one you'd want to cross paths with at night. Appearing straight out of A Nightmare Before Christmas, the figure could be described as a cross between a skeleton or a scarecrow, but it's the figure's jerky animated movements that really put the viewer on edge. The long-limbed creature walks joltingly across the road before realizing it's being watched. It whips around abruptly, causing the person filming to drop his camera downward. When he lifts it up again, the scary scarecrow has vanished. What is happening? Is this figure mechanical, remote controlled? Where did it disappear to and why? I think there's a good chance this is CGI, but if that's not the case, then I have no idea how else to explain this. Never take something from an abandoned property. You never know what may possess it. Posted by Gary B8632 to the Chills Narrator subreddit. Gary explains that his sister visited an abandoned hospital months ago and removed a glass bowl and a basket from the place. Now it seems like something else came with these taken pieces. The Redditor says his sister was alone in her room around 3 a.m. However, beyond the desk, a shadow figure clearly manifests on the wall, appearing for a moment before vanishing into the darkness of the hallway. The Redditor claims that his sister has been waking up with marks ever since. Did she remove a cursed artifact from the property? And is this shadow person somehow possessing these cursed objects? Best bet? Return these artifacts before the aggression gets any worse. Some rather unexplained paranormal activity was caught on video when a ghost hunter by the name of Tracy puts their camera on the floor of a haunted house, one of the many haunted places in an unnamed ghost town they're exploring all alone. Soon, strange noises are heard as a shadow figure slowly plays against the wall. This might be an actual shadow figure, or someone walking across the window to create the appearance of one. The noises make sound like they could be special effects played from a speaker. The Martinez twins are both excited about moving into a new house with an old friend. They are arguing over which rooms belong to who, when one of them notices a locked door leading to an unexplored part of the house. None of them have a key, so they pick the lock and step into a plain room with an empty chair. The old chair gives off a creepy vibe. It must have belonged to one of the previous owners. They are talking about what to do with it when suddenly they notice an attic entrance that needs to be checked out. They forget about the chair for now and climb a wooden ladder into a darkened attic, even though the insulation is making them cough, and one false step could send them falling through the ceiling. The group is determined to get to the other side and see what they can find. A small box is waiting for them at the end of their crawl space, but they don't open it up right away, choosing to look at a pile of old magazines from the 1920s instead. When they turn their attention back to the box, they find this old mysterious broken thing inside.
Bro, there's like a toy, bro. It works from here. Wait.
The others try to stop him, but it's too late. An eerie song fills the empty, dark attic space, perhaps for the first time in many years.
That's creepy. Bro, you wanna hold him? Oh wow, that's creepy.
There's an old Bible even farther back in the attic, but when the music box starts playing a few more notes all by itself, they decide they've seen enough and leave quick.
I stop it. Wow, that's creepy. Okay, let's go.
All of these things seem like the perfect indications of a classic haunting that I certainly would want nothing to do with, but I'm curious what you think. YouTuber Donna Aries has a roommate that she cannot see. Let's take a look at this mischievous poltergeist in action.
Just come in, just heard something, so just grab my iPad to see if I see anything. And I'm sure I saw the cup move, so I've just grabbed me. There you go, again.
Donna does a good job of reassuring viewers that this is no gimmick.
Under there, that's just a bracket from an old drawer that used to be there. There's nothing in the cupboard, it's just cutlery and stuff. Nothing under there, apart from pots and pans. There's no magnets.
Even if the surface was wet, the way it's moving is not how an object would move across a wet surface.
Underneath, there's nothing. It's just an old metal cup. Metal.
And then this happens.
Oh my gosh. The surface isn't wet or anything, it's all dry. So there's no reason for it to be moving. And it's moving again.
The only thing I can think of to debunk this is the nearby stove. If it's an induction stove, then it uses magnetic fields to generate heat. It would follow that a metal cup nearby would be drawn if the field is strong enough, but that's just a theory, and the way the cup moves is too erratic. Do you have any ideas? These videos posted by the Washington State Department of Transportation in January of 2020 have had thousands of people retweeting and speculating as to what was spotted that day on Shermans Pass. The webcam photo shows a mysterious creature with not a trace of skin showing beneath, not even around the eyes and face. It doesn't look like a person, and it doesn't look like a costume, but it does look like it could be a bipedal humanoid covered in fur. One day later, a new official video of the same species, if not the same specimen, was released by the Department of Transportation. This time spotted at the Snoqualmie Pass, over 4 hours away. I think this second sighting looks more like a person than the first, and I think they might even be wearing a pair of boots, but it's too far away to tell. I think maybe this is a person who was inspired by the first sighting. It's too bad that this supposed creature chose to walk away from the camera instead of towards it, so we could get a better look. What's different about both of these sightings, and most others, is the source. This is a government agency, not some random person on YouTube, so I think it's safe to say that something was definitely out there on both days. Whether it was a human or a real creature though, I cannot say. Maybe one day soon a third sighting will give us the final piece of evidence we need to make a solid conclusion. This video was apparently leaked from a food processing facility somewhere in China. Here you can see workers loading a shredder full of miscellaneous plastic wrappers. Next, the camera follows the plastic as it makes its way down a tube and comes out as a long ribbon of thick sludge which is cut by hand with scissors. The next is to send the treated plastic sludge into a second machine that shreds it into very long and thin strings. These strings are fed into a high-speed shredder, which cuts them up into granules of rice to be served later. In other words, fake plastic rice. I don't believe this was real until I found other videos taken from factory workers. This one shows the exact same setup, long strings of plastic being shredded into tiny pieces of fake rice. I wonder what the long-term health consequences are after eating this non-food source for years. Hopefully this practice is soon banned and never makes it to other parts of the world. This video was taken one summer on Vancouver Island in Canada. A YouTuber named Mushmasta is on a hike when he sees a huge humanoid creature that he still can't explain to this day over 10 years later. According to Mushmasta, the creature was 7 feet tall and stood on its hind legs to stare at him, but by the time he started recording, it was already hunched over and taking off. At first I thought it was a bear, but look closer and you can almost make out the upper body of a human, especially the shoulders. It looks far more human than a bear judging from the way it walks away. In the end the creature chooses to leave Mushmasta alone in the woods, wondering what he had just encountered. Let me know what you think it was based on the brief video that I have shown you. No one has been able to solve this in over a decade. This elevator video from 2012 was taken late at night at an undisclosed location. The space is completely empty until a woman with long dark hair and a dirty nightgown appears out of nowhere with her head down. She stands in place for less than 10 seconds before the security camera suddenly glitches out and shuts off. 2 months later, the video was leaked to the public and posted online. This leaked video might be fake because it almost looks like a stereotypical Hollywood version of a ghost. Then again, as CCTV cameras continue to improve in quality, it would only make sense for the spirits to show more detail as well. The Coast Guard comes to save the day. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, which gives me a huge sigh of relief. After all, everyone makes mistakes. Kathy and her family often hear scary sounds coming from a basement they've long suspected to be haunted by a paranormal entity. Objects tend to move all by themselves down here, and this time, on July 3rd of 2020, a loud bang from the cymbals of their drum kit sends their father downstairs to investigate. Kathy stays on the steps, and Jade and her daughter is too afraid to venture down there at all. The father cautiously takes a few steps into the room and doesn't see anything out of the ordinary. A strange sensation of being watched keeps them all on alert, and then...
You heard it though, right?
I don't hear anything now.
Oh my god!
2 empty bottles fall off the ledge with no one nearby. Nobody is hiding in the corner to pull a string, and there's no room for anyone to stand behind the bottles. The objects just move on their own, like a ghost pushed them, or maybe Jaden stood at the top of the steps and pulled a string. Who knows? Weirder still is a ghost sighting on TikTok taken 4 days prior. This time using the ghost hunting app called Reality Ripple. Kathy's alone in the basement talking about previous encounters when she's literally interrupted by what she thinks are ghost orbs.
I turned on the... Oh, what was that? Looked like an orb. I don't know.
She turns on the Reality Ripple ghost hunting app and is surprised to find there's way more paranormal evidence down in the basement that's been right in front of her eyes the whole time.
It is... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The app is only supposed to show color around living things, but paranormal entities are known to trip the app too. In other words, TikTok detects a ghost attached to her husband's drums. An alternative explanation is that the drums somehow look like the outline of a person, but I don't see how. Not even a painting of an actual person is enough to set it off, so I don't see how these drums would. With all of this paranormal evidence in mind, tell me if you think they are really haunted by a ghost, or if the whole family is playing a joke. Paranormal explorers Moxley of Moxley's Crazy Adventures and Dan of Nighthawk Exploring team up to explore an abandoned house so haunted that only 2 well-versed paranormal investigators such as themselves could ever hope to stand a chance against it. Known only as the Invisible House, the haunted place in the UK is host to ghastly figures and ghostly apparitions that will make your skin crawl as they reach out and brush by. While exploring the 2nd floor, they pass by a small statue kneeling in prayer. The way it faces into the room makes me think it was left there to protect against something inside, a paranormal presence that doesn't want them in there exploring the abandoned house at all. Somewhere nearby a door closes all by itself, and when you slow down the video at 6 minutes and 4 seconds, there is a half-concealed outline of a pale ghost face in the window. Not knowing that they've already caught a ghost sighting on tape, they break out the K2 meter to get supernatural consent for their paranormal investigation to continue.
Are you okay with myself and Moxley being here? Can you take it to the yellow or orange? Would you be okay if myself and Moxley used the spirit box in here?
Give it a go.
Give it a go.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
A chill passes over them, and just like the legends say, the ghost hunters hear and feel a presence brush by them both. They turn around to find this heavy cabinet door, which was open when they first came in, is now closed. They open and close the cabinet to see how heavy it is, and conclude that it is too heavy to close on its own from a gentle breeze. And get this, every time they touch the cabinet door, a ghost orb angrily flies overhead. It happens 3 times and it's quite creepy. This video was published to YouTube by Truthfinder30330 in March of 2020. Truthfinder's paranormal experience is more than creepy. It's absolutely terrifying. According to the man in the video, who is holding up note cards to explain his situation, he's a student who moved into a townhouse with 2 roommates who'd begun to experience odd happenings inside the home. He attempted to capture video evidence, but was unable to until now. His roommates also reported strange things occurring. On the night in question, they were out and our friend was home alone in the townhouse. He begins filming upon entering his home. As he's walking around, he starts to hear strange noises, including knocking and then something that sounds like a piece of metal falling on the ground. When he goes to check it out in the kitchen, that's exactly what he finds. A metal ring on the tile floor. It looks like it fell off the light fixture. After going upstairs and putting his keys on his desk, the hall light fixture starts to go nuts, flickering on and off statically. When he turns around facing his room again, something is standing there with a sheet covering it, a human form. He pulls the sheet away to find nothing there. He searches his room to see if there's anything to explain the form. Under his desk in the closet, there's no one there. That is until he opens his bedroom door to the hallway and again finds this. If this video doesn't creep you out to the max, then you must be Superman. Number 5. A YouTuber named Papa Pepper is about to let his family play in the water when he senses something is wrong. The protective father decides to err on the side of caution and proceeds to check the water hole for any signs of danger.
Just doing a quick look to make sure everything was safe. And up underneath this log, it's cottonmouth. A water moccasin.
Hiding under this log, just barely poking out of the water, is the head of a fiercely territorial snake glaring back at the camera.
Up underneath here, way in the front of that log. If you can make that out. Oh yeah, you can make that out. What is that? Big old water moccasin, guys.
They are highly venomous and will go after people who intrude. They are the only type of water snake that puts up a battle rather than back down and will send someone to the hospital.
Check it out down there. Let's focus in the center of the screen. Where you at? Find it. There you go. There's another one.
Papa Pepper is smart to have checked for them before letting his family swim here. Otherwise, they could have gotten seriously messed up. When you see a figure that you can only describe as an orc, then you know that reality has become a Tolkien novel. Published to the paranormal subreddit by Remola Day 2, the uploader purports to have caught real video evidence of just such a capture. The Redditor explains that he and his brother are arguing what this thing is that they caught on camera. Due to its size, he doesn't think it's human. He writes, his house is remotely located and the figure is coming from a huge field and not from the road ahead. Also, all the lights on the road and behind the tractor are turned on by sensor, so the ones on the road ahead shouldn't be lit. In the video, the creature appears to waddle past, definitely in an inhuman way. The second video shows the creature's large shadow before it waddles past again. The uploader claims that they've discovered 2 black leaves where the creature was walking, and the woods near which it passed had also begun to turn black, like it's rotting. Some in the comments say that the creature appears to be dragging something, like a deer, suitcase, or large bag. Others say it looks like Sasquatch or Hagrid from Harry Potter. What do you think this is?
I know. Look, that's actually so creepy, dude. There's a guy right there, and I'm kind of freaked out, not gonna lie.
Blake Gray fears he's captured something that would terrify all of us behind the dumpster of an abandoned building while exploring. His brave friend slowly creeps up.
He started moving.
So obviously this was a skit that was pre-planned, right? Wrong. Let's analyze what they were wearing on the day they captured this mysterious figure. Ripped jeans, skinny jeans, blue jean shorts. The mysterious stranger is wearing khakis. So yeah, this creepy event is scary and most importantly could be real. The person is still alive, but to what degree is unknown. A twitch of the leg could mean asleep or barely alive. If this is real, then I hope they notified the proper authorities to come make sure whoever this is still alive. The video of this home was originally published in December of 2013. The uploader explains that he was woken by someone pounding at his door and ringing the doorbell around 1:35 in the morning, setting off his barking dog alarm. He assumes the 2 guys outside were pleading for help with the intention of entering their home. Luckily, the homeowner's steel front door and his common sense prevented the would-be intruders from taking further action. They eventually left. The whole scenario is terrifying, but a closer look at the security footage that seems to have been captured in the same home 2 years later in February of 2015 turns up something even creepier. A shadow person seems to manifest on the living room wall and is seen walking from the hallway towards the front door. Is it just some sort of visual remnant of the homeowner on the clip, or did a spirit invade his home when he wasn't looking? Considering both of these insanely creepy incidents, I'd have to agree with Redditor, just a touch too much, who writes simply, "Time to move." A live streamer named Lothar is in the middle of playing Hearthstone when he suddenly starts acting out of sorts. If you pay close attention to his face, you can see that he is clearly feeling some discomfort. He takes his headset off and tries to regain control over himself, but to no avail. And his wife finds him there. She tries to get him to come to his senses. Here is a brief excerpt of the call. I don't speak the language, but common sense gives me some idea of what she is saying. Still, any translations are appreciated.
Nie, ale tak wyglądało. Myślałam, że się czymś... Słucham? Tak, ale myślałam, że się czymś zadławił.
In case anyone is wondering, Lothar spent about a week recovering, but this has not happened since. A social security office is a pretty strange building to be haunted, but a YouTuber named Joshua Bragg is convinced, after capturing 2 of the scariest moments on CCTV video that he still cannot explain.
Back up a little bit, there it goes, down here in the corner. It's not a bug, people. I don't know what this is. I always know that there's a ghost in this place. So creepy.
I was thinking this dark orb-like figure was an insect, except here's the thing, Joshua has seen the same figure before on a different security camera, in a different room, on a different night. Last time it went out the back entrance and walked across the parking lot in a straight line.
Right here. That is no bug. That is no bug.
I think he's right because an insect walking across should look like a solid black shape. Whatever this is looks translucent and is therefore most likely something paranormal. A YouTuber named David Rebordeo hears noises coming from an attic and decides to go up and investigate for himself. Here you can see they are both far away from the source of the noise and they're not pretending to hear something. David videos the upstairs for a while and doesn't come across much. He passes the camera and starts to climb down the ladder. All of a sudden, the equipment makes a buzzing sound not found in any other part of the video. That's when the noisemaker reveals itself and nearly makes physical contact. It's hard to say if this was a person or some sort of ghostly ghoul. The buzzing noise makes me think that this was a paranormal disturbance, but I guess this could have been CGI, so let me know what you think it was. Here's another video of a different warehouse that's possibly haunted. Take a look at what one of the security cameras picks up, slinking around their screen presumably late at night after everyone has gone home. The footage looks really grainy, which ordinarily would be a sign of editing, but then again, this is also exactly how most low-budget security cameras look. Maybe it was a bug walking across the lens, maybe it was edited, or maybe it really was a shadow person silently floating across a work site. We'll never know for certain. Sometimes you just want to kick back and relax, and then this happens. Published to YouTube in February of 2018, this YouTuber from Brandon, Manitoba, Canada writes, "Was watching TV when I heard noises, started to record and caught this." My apartment has things going on. In the clip, the uploader says he's been hearing some unexplained banging in the apartment. Soon, the source of the banging demonstrates that he means business. A chair scrapes towards the camera across the floor on its own. Then behind it in the other room, a garbage can flips right over. It seems something in this house is out to get him. As Devon the 9th Hokage advises in the comments, you have to get out of there. Take Devon's advice before it's too late. This definitely looks paranormal to me. There's nowhere to escape when you're on a haunted island. The Hype Mike crew soon realizes that not only can't they escape, but something is in the house with them.
There's someone in the house right now.
They discover the front door open.
Did we leave the door open? Like, I feel like we would have closed that, no?
At least the wooden door too, you know?
Then they see something truly terrifying outside.
Hello? Who's that?
What was that? The guys described the creature.
Something outside, dude. There's like a thing. It had like, its face was all like.
I couldn't. Something was on his face. I don't know if it was like a mask or something, but something was on his face, and he had like a.
Outside, they hear a call in the wilderness.
I think I heard something up there.
Yep, right there.
And as they continue on, they get closer to it.
Shh! What was that?
Wow. We're definitely getting closer.
Like really close.
And they get even closer.
Oh my! That's thick. I thought it was another one of those skull things.
I think we should try to like find its like base camp.
Until they find its base camp.
It's another one of those skulls.
Hello?
Is this creature watching them? It seems to have left some sort of warning on the ground.
What is that? Is that a brain?
Stop. What the f?
Disgusting.
And amongst the brambles of the creature's base camp, they find this.
Jesse? What? Look at this. We need to get out of here.
Arriving at the water's edge, they see this.
What the f*** that? Bro, we gotta go.
I think he's right. They've gotta go. Wouldn't you? I sure would. You may be wondering why this man is poking around his shoes with a stick, but anybody who lives in a warm desert or tropical environment will probably understand what he's doing. Here's why you don't put your shoes on straight away in the rural countryside of India.
Wow.
This baby Indian cobra is responsible for most of the snake bites in India. And yes, it is venomous, so even a small one like this is probably the last thing you would ever want to find in your footwear. It doesn't even necessarily have to bite you, it can spit venom into your eyes instead. If you live in places like India, Australia, the American Southwest, or anywhere else that's similar, then let me know what's the craziest thing you've ever found lurking in your shoes was. Thank you so much for getting me to 30,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers next. Thank you.